Morning.
Good morning, Gav. How are you?
Yeah, good. Last one for the year.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a Santa rally. It's been late in the month, but a little bit of rally today. It could interesting to see how we finish.
Yeah, I think we'll close up today, but the next few days will be interesting.
Yes, I think volumes certainly start to disappear as of this afternoon. So, yeah, next week,
Lunchtime.
very quiet couple of days, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. I thought would be worthwhile just seeing as the last one for the year to go through how our trades performed over the last 12 months or so. And
Yeah,
obviously, there's no point putting a spreadsheet up showing every single trade, but what I've got here is just a simple sort of presentation I put together to show what it looks like. And
yep,
I'll just go through that, H. I won't talk through it line by line, obviously, but I'll go through and see where we go. So we recommended 46 trades in total over the last 12 months.
fantastic.
Um, Total options premium for the recommended trades was 91,700.
Yep.
Total options premium from the non-exercise trades, that's where there's no stock involved, was 67 odd thousand dollars.
So yeah, that's where we've just had the positions expired worthless, so we just need to
Yeah,
bank the premium. Yeah,
yeah, just
fantastic.
make the premium. And then if we've purchased stock through selling puts and we've been exercised, those stocks have then rallied on.
Yep,
And the average of the totals are 114 odd thousand, close enough to 115,000. And
yep.
then we also recommended a handful of buy rights through the year. And if you've hung on to them, they're up 53 odd thousand for the year. So
Yeah,
that's
excellent.
pretty good results. But I think it's worth just quickly qualifying it a little bit. No one would have done every single recommendation that we've
No.
put out there. There'd be some that would followed through and done a handful of them. I've got clients that will do two or three trades like this every month, and their numbers are comparatively very similar. So
Yep,
I just thought it'd be
fantastic.
worth talking through it, what they would have happened if someone had have done everything. So this one here, I thought it worth just looking through how those the ones the exercise puts how they actually look. So if we see a stock that's we think's presenting value and we want to pick it up a little bit cheaper, we'll recommend buying a put. And in some cases they weren't exercised, so we keep the premium. In other cases they were exercised, and these are the ones that were actually exercised through the year. So
Yep.
you can see Northern Star and Fortescue have done incredibly well in terms of their change in value if you hung on to them.
Yes.
And then there's a couple that we recommended that haven't done as well, but I'll go through what they look like and what we would have done hypothetically if this had been the case. Buy rights, much the same sort of thing there. Pretty good performance overall if you'd hung on to them. Now, we would have recommended these because they've got a reasonable dividend. I think you should be able to see a dividend down there on the right-hand side there. So you've collected those
Yep.
dividends. The numbers there, the change in value obviously excludes the dividend. So they've paid pretty good dividend on top of the options premium and on top of their change in value. Um,
Yeah.
this slide here, I just thought we'd put up the ones that have done really well. So on the over here on Northern Star on the left-hand side, we recommended this back around here somewhere, and you can see it's just shot up. Now, I think in practice, H, if someone had have done this trade, and I think I had a client who did do this trade around this point here, we were selling calls again over the top of it. And,
Yes.
same here, we were selling calls again over the top of it. And the same with Fortescue. I think we recommended it around April. It's had a good run. Probably at that point there, we would have been recommending calls, and we may or may not have been exercised. But certainly
Yep.
this one here, when all the target recommendations are pointing south, you'd certainly be recommending selling calls.
Yeah. Look for those sort of little peaks, and there's a good time to sell that
Yeah.
covered call.
And then the last slide here is the couple of stocks that haven't done as well. We've recommended selling puts, and we've been exercising. You see, MCall's had a pretty rough sort of trot since that time. Pays a 6%
Yes.
dividend, so you've collected that. But at the same time, we recommend quality stocks. You can see all the price targets there are all pointing north. The average price target from the analysts is around that 26% upside. So very happy to hang on to it. It's a quality company, and I think you just got to give it time. And that's why we stick with the recommending the quality stocks when we're selling puts. And on the right-hand side, same sort of story with Suncorp. It was only recommended not that long ago. But again, the upside there for hanging on to it and the dividends, you'd certainly be happy to hang on to that sort of stock and have it as part of your portfolio anyway.
Yeah, certainly Suncorp does feel like it, and the insurance sector in general has been a bit soft, but you'd hope to
Yeah.
see some recovery in the new year with that one,
Yeah.
depending on rates too.
So that just gives you a bit of a feel for how the year's performed and how it's looked. And as I said, I've had a couple of clients that do a couple of these trades every month, and yeah, their numbers are obviously very similar to the overall numbers, and they're pretty
Yeah.
happy. Particularly the Fortescue trade. I had two clients that did that trade and followed it through, continued to sell calls. I think they picked up on the 5,000 odd contracts. They picked up about $17,000 in options premium over the year, and then another. I think it was close enough to $10,000 in dividends on top of that, and then eventually got exercised with the growth in the share as well. So it was a very good trade.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from that sort of $16 level where we wrote that put,
Yeah,
taking that stock up from there and running it all the way through would have been, even if you only ran it through to writing calls at 19.50 or $20, you've still done exceptionally well. So definitely a good trade, and one I'd definitely be keen to look at again if the pricing comes back a bit, probably sub 20. We could definitely look at it again.
that's for sure. And that's it for this
Yeah.
year. H for me.
Yeah,
What's next year
fantastic.
looking like?
Well, I think next year, as we've spoken about, we're going to sort of look to ramp these videos up a little bit more, maybe a little bit more general market commentary, maybe have some just standard stock recommendations. Still have an options focus, obviously looking where we can use options to enhance our returns, whether it be the sold put to give us that better entry, covered call to keep the income flowing in on a stock. So we'll definitely look to enhance that, but also looking at some of the stock recommendations, maybe some pure stock plays in the mid cap sector, and maybe just some general market themes. So we'll probably try and obviously keep a weekly video going if we can,
Yeah.
and just increase maybe extra couple of minutes just doing some general market themes, and possibly if the boys on the desk got some time, we might also have some guests attend from time to time to, again, to get everyone's opinions and go from there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. It'll be a good year next year, particularly when we start offering those sort of things and just keeping it pretty casual and generally the way we operate. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, mate, fantastic. Well, you have a good Christmas,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
let's
good one
hope we get a
too.
little Santa rally. Maybe
Well,
might come a
let's
little
hope
bit late.
so.
I'm still hopeful.
So am I.
Uh,
Anyway, see you later. Thank you.
Right, see you, mate. Bye.